Hey guys! Are you ready for the best episode you've ever listened to in your entire life? You want to know what I've been thinking of ever since we started? Dream guest on my podcast!
Oh! That's actually really funny.
This is the dream guest on the podcast. We're starting off strong. I honestly feel like we probably should have started off with someone not as the best person ever because it only goes down.
We're really raising the expectations.
We are.
Next guest, they're going to be like, all right.
It only goes down.
It doesn't work from here. They're never listening to another episode. It's all going to suck after this. We really screwed ourselves.
We did. Starting on the mountaintop.
Speaking of which, let's actually say who the heck we have on our podcast.
We have Miss Ruth.
The one and only.
Hey. One and only. The best person I've ever met in my entire life.
But to make it funnier, when they text me, well, first I got a message. It was like, do you want to be on our podcast? And I told Viet, I'm like, did they text the wrong person?
That's crazy.
I'm like, are they sure? So it makes it even better.
We're over here like so excited. Like we're making sure we're texting the right number.
I had to double check the message.
No, we were literally making sure. We're like, we want to make sure we're texting Ruth because we wouldn't want anyone else
We had
on
talked
here.
about it. We were like, Ruth would literally be the best person ever.
Oh.
Yeah, and
so
it works
funny.
out perfectly too because I don't know if you noticed the accent, but also we're in Ireland right now. This
We
is
are.
our second Monday that we're in Ireland.
Yeah, it's the
I think
last-
we're leaving today.
We're leaving today.
So
We're currently in Ireland, and we have the Queen from Ireland.
exactly the Queen from Ireland. So we're so excited to just talk and get all the. Just hear the accent, honestly. That's why we invited
That's
you.
why
accent.
we
We
it's
just wanted,
ASMR.
yeah, we just ASMR.
Just listening to Ruth talk, I could just I want Ruth to have her own podcast, so I can just have an excuse to listen
I'm
to her
just gonna
voice.
listen to this episode over and over,
Over and
again,
again.
so then I can practice my accent. Do you think that they would be offended, Ruth?
No, I
if
think
do
they
my
would love it.
accent?
But it's funny because, like, Irish people, we don't like our accents.
That's
So when
so
we hear it,
crazy.
we're like, ugh.
It's so funny because the last time I went to Ireland, I started to develop I catch on the
Cheers.
accents really quickly. Cheers.
No, same. I'm
Who's
really
for the
bad. I
floor?
will mimic.
I'm fuming. No, I do. I'm like a parrot.
No,
and it's not
yeah,
on
me
purpose.
too.
And we were in there and I was like, oh, Dublin. I was talking like that. And they would look at me and I was like, I'm so sorry. Am I offending you? And they were like, no, it's hilarious.
Yeah. No, I remember we were even just the small layover when we were going to Barcelona and London. They're like, oh, would you like your receipt? I was like, oh, no, thank you. They probably thought I
That
was a jerk.
accent is the best, though.
No, but I was like, my
We
bad.
were
I just
in
wanted
London
to.
for 2 hours.
No, we were literally there for 2 hours. I just got a water at the airport and I was immediately like, oh, no, thank you.
Sorry.
Cheers. Have a good day. Yeah, and they hated
That's
me.
why, I was like, that's why the British Love Island is the best.
Oh, that's true. The accents.
They do have the accents.
I
It's
can't
true.
wait to just be known having an accent.
I feel like, there's certain voices, and I feel like you could be the dumbest person alive, but you have a British accent, and I immediately assume that you're smart.
You're a
Oh, yeah.
genius.
You're a
It's
genius.
whole stereotype, yeah.
It is. Girls that have, the Valley girl accent, you could be the smartest person in the world, but if you talk like that, I think you're dumb. That's an unpopular, I don't know if that's a controversial opinion, but I
Got
can't.
canceled right now saying that.
Can you imagine someone,
No, I
talking about, rocket physics, and they're like, yeah, so, the rocket takes off at,
gosh.
this speed? I can't.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just the eloquence with which
You don't believe any of it?
No, I'm like, okay.
you're making this up right now. That's so funny.
Anyway, we should talk about how we know Miss Ruth
Yes.
and how we got to meet her, and our lives have never been the same ever since.
Real, how we've been blessed. So honestly, I should have thought more about this before we even
That's so real.
started talking about, because I don't know the exact first meeting. So obviously, how we know Ruth, I guess, is through the church.
Mm-hmm.
Our youth pastor that serves, Viet, you are married to him.
We've brought up Viet so
So-
many times,
You have.
making fun of him.
Either making fun of him or Viet says, his
Viet
lines
says.
of wisdom.
No,
or making
he's
fun
very
of him.
wise,
He is
honestly.
wise.
We just steal that and then honestly, why are we giving him credit? I'm about to start saying that. I'm saying that. He doesn't even he'll be fine. But yeah, so we know you pretty much from that.
Mm-hmm.
I think me personally, I knew of you before I met you,
Same,
especially
yeah.
because my cousins and stuff, they went to the youth group.
I think
with
you
me.
moved when we moved or something.
Right, so I lived in Cape Cod, I
Yeah.
think when you guys were first starting and stuff, so I was in middle school, so I didn't start going to youth till I was in 9th grade.
Yeah.
So, but I knew of you, especially through fine arts,
Yeah.
Chelsea and Mariah, they were doing it, and they were literally just saying that you were the best person in the world. So I was just
so
like,
good.
oh, I'm so excited to meet you. And then I think it was just a casual, just started going to youth, and then started
Yeah.
the
Now
love
you're stuck
for
with us
Ruth.
forever.
I love it.
I'm
I'm in the fan club. Now I'm in the
That's
fan club.
the Ruth fan club.
Oh.
I met Viet and Ruth at a movie theater.
Okay, she has more of a story. I was like, I don't remember.
I remember,
to be honest.
Because so I was meeting them, and I was like on the fence because they were taking over the youth pastor position, and I was like super skeptical. I was like, how are they going to take over?
Who are these people?
Because like they did have like I felt like Viet had big shoes to fill in a way.
Definitely,
yeah. And I was super close with the previous youth pastor, so I was like, who are these people coming in? And I see Ruth, and I'm like, they're an interesting looking couple. She's so pretty. Like, what the heck? But it was funny because I met them, and both like her and Viet thought I was a grown adult. I was in high school.
I did, yeah.
They thought I was
That's
like 30 with a mortgage, like married.
I
was like 16.
But even like how you spoke, you were very mature. I was like, she's not youth at all.
I've been 40 since I was like 10.
Same with Mia on
I
it
feel
too.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we're old souls.
That's funny.
Old souls. But I met her then, and then I heard her talk, and I was like, you're actually the coolest person I've ever met. Even if like she wasn't, just because of the way that she talks. But then she is actually the coolest person
She
I've
lives
ever
up.
met.
She lives up.
She
to
lives
the
up to the
accent.
hype. She lives up to the accent and hype.
I don't know if you remember that. So that night we went to see like Hillsong or something. Was it the Hillsong?
I don't think so. I don't remember that. I thought it was a cartoon.
Oh, it was. Okay, the second time we went to see Hillsong, and my dad was
At the
there.
movie theater?
And it was his like first time going.
Oh.
I think to the actual movies,
Oh.
and he was singing through the whole thing so loud, and I'm like, you're not supposed to do this.
Supposed to talk.
That's so funny.
So funny. But that's how I met her. And then ever since then, it's just been...
That's what I'm saying. You also joined the fan club.
I did.
Oh.
Right then and there. I knew
love
it.
it.
Took me a while to get on Viet's fan club. I don't know if I'm...
That's funny.
No. I'm on both. Ruth is definitely like, it's like right away though,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Real. I was gonna say, Ruth, do you remember any other details of meeting us? I don't think.
I feel like I remember when we moved over first, I was like, oh, we're just going to be like, it's going to be normal, fine. And then I get here and I'm like, oh. Because, like, first of all, everyone knew each other so well. The reality of that was like,
I can't imagine.
Yeah. But obviously it just took time. And then I would be like, you'll know because you're going to be in Ireland at this time and you've been there before. But you're trying to, like, talk to them, but you have all the wrong words. So I'd be like, oh, what? I'm like trying to ask what grade are you in? But I'm like, what class are you in? And people are looking at me like I have two heads. And I'm like, okay, Viet, what do I say?
Yeah.
Like I spoke English, but like I was like,
it's different.
this is crazy. But yeah, after like a few weeks, months, it like became normal.
Yeah,
Right.
you acclimate.
No, I'm sure. That's fun.
No.
I say we
high and
stick
low
to our
tides.
sketch. High and low tides with a special guest. So we get even more of the tides.
I want more of the tides.
More of the tides.
The tides are strong.
Tides are strong. We've been
Ruth,
starting
would you like to go
with a
first?
high one?
Yeah,
Well,
let's start with a high. I like ending on our low. I think it's funny.
Okay. All right, so my high tide was last night. So when we're recording this, our church had like their fly up ceremony.
wow.
Oh, yeah.
So kind of like they do like rangers and missionettes, so kind of like
Yeah.
boy and girl scout type thing.
Yeah.
But it was so cute. And
Yeah.
like with the kids, like they did their pledges, and usually I'm with youth, but last night I got to be there for it, and it was so cute. Like the kids were all like saying their pledges and getting like awards, and it was so they had like stations. So there was like different stations of the world. So like one of them was like Peru.
Yeah.
And then they got to build homes because the church, Suncoast, builds homes in Peru. So then they got to like move around. It was so
Yeah.
cute. And I feel like, I don't know, obviously I'm biased, but like I love Suncoast. It's like they do like so much stuff. And even like obviously Mia, your family, they're so involved with the Wednesday. But when you get to see like everyone together, like the whole church,
It's just
it's not like
awesome.
one
Good
person,
feeling.
it's everyone.
The parents,
and they're
the
like, yeah, like,
generations, yeah.
like all the girls, like the missionette leaders, the rangers,
Right.
like
Aw.
it was so cool. I loved
I
it.
love
It's
it.
the church
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, and I never usually get to see the kids because we're always with the youth. But
Right.
it was so cute. And then Ezra took the microphone and did his pledge in front of
I
everyone.
wish. Do you
It was
have
so
a video
cute.
of that?
No,
Oh
it
my
was
gosh,
so cute
I would
because
love-
I
I
didn't
would
think he
ask
would.
him.
He took it and then he just pauses and then he did it. It was so cute. His little voice. So that I loved it. Yeah,
That's such a good high tide.
so cute.
That's so cute. My high tide is, well, it's different. I was just talking to Hannah just about, I usually come up with my high tide just like
In the
talking to
moment.
Hannah before we actually start recording. Because it was originally just my excitement about Ireland.
Yeah.
And it is coming up so soon, which is absolutely crazy because I remember like the first
Even though
meetings.
now it's like ending when this airs.
I know.
You'll
so
be like on
it'll
the
be
way
a-
back.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But right now, I still, we have it to look forward to. But I remember, like, the first meeting, like, it was like, oh, June 7th. I'm like, that's so far away. Like, I don't even think, like, it came up so quickly. I feel like I knew it was going to, but I just didn't.
It always does. It sneaks up on you.
You just don't think about it. So I'm really excited about that. But I'm even more excited because preparing for it, I was, like, looking on Amazon, as one does, and I was like, let me just see if there's anything I really need for Ireland. You know, maybe not need, but want. And I was like, okay, but I don't really want to spend this money. And I found an Amazon gift card from my birthday that I didn't even know I had. And I was like looking for it, and then it was pretty much all free. I think I only had to pay $3. I made a pretty hefty Amazon order. So
that's amazing. I need to order some travel essentials too on Amazon, and I have an Amazon gift card.
Amazon
so I need to do the
I
same
love
thing.
finding gift cards.
I'm gonna get my foot hammock.
Are you getting your foot hammock?
I'm gonna get my foot hammock. A foot hammock that you put it on the tray, and so you can put your feet in.
Oh, that's actually genius.
So, like, I guess.
Yeah, so my feet can, with my long legs, I need it.
I got a neck pillow yesterday from Five Below, but when I put it on, I was like, this is definitely from Five Below.
It's not the.
It's not like it's very squishy.
I've seen people do it though, like if your like head hangs like forwards, like put it on backwards. I think I'm gonna do that because like my worst nightmare, which I definitely do on planes, is like if you're sleeping, your mouth falls open.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my mouth is wide open.
I make myself.
And then everyone's going to be taking pictures of each other.
No, I know, and I'm like, that's like my worst nightmare. So I purposely want to do that. So like maybe I'll like keep my chin up. I don't know.
That's true. That's a good high tide though.
Yeah, that's pretty. Sad.
My high tide is kind of a big one. So by the time that this airs too, it's going to be like real, but it is official that I'm going to be a coach for CrossFit. I know.
Really?
Yes.
So
and
exciting.
tomorrow,
what a high tide.
Tomorrow I take my course.
Wow.
And take the test. Yeah, so I'll either be finishing it tomorrow or
now
Saturday.
I have to go to your buddy day.
You have to.
So cool.
And then next Wednesday.
Can you coach our buddy day? Would that ever be a thing?
Yeah, I could. Yeah, if it's at the time that I would. I don't know what days or times I would be, but that would be so cool.
Like, can I coach me? Oh
and then on next Wednesday, so I'm doing it the online version. I wanted to be able to do it in person, but they do like these in-person seminars, and it only happens on specific dates, in specific places, and the only ones that were like in our area. One of them, it was in Orlando, but will be in Ireland, and then. I think it's like when this drops, it's like happening right now, but we're obviously still out of the country. And then the other one isn't until August, and that was like later than what I wanted. Right. And so they have an online version that came out when COVID hit. So I basically take the course on my own pace, and then there's an online webinar that you join in, and like you get to talk to people and ask questions and like have like further discussions about it, about coaching and like what you need to know. And that's next Wednesday. So next Wednesday, 2 days before we leave for Ireland, I'll be an official coach. Yeah. Aww. So then the plan is that in between this trip and then when Vlad and I go to Bali, I'm going to start shadowing. So then when I come back from Bali, I can start coaching.
Ready to go.
I'm so excited. Exciting. I have felt like this has been kind of brought up, the idea of me being a coach, honestly, since I was in college, but like the timing of it never worked out, and it is expensive to pay for the certification, and I was just a student at the time, or whatever. And then it's been like brought up to me by like 3 different people back to back, and I'm like, okay, I feel like this is God. Like I've been asking him for this guidance because I'm in this big transition period of like not being a teacher anymore. And I was like, okay, like I just, open the door if it's meant to. And this door has been like, I feel like wide open with a sign over it saying, this is what you're meant to do. And it's also like what I'm so passionate about.
Right, it's perfect, yeah.
So I'm really, really excited, and I'm just trusting God that like financially it's gonna work out between this and my other new job, because it wouldn't be like a full-time thing. It's definitely on the side. If you can hear Milo in the background, he always likes to make an appearance every now and then. So I'm so excited, and I was like very determined to get this done. I'm sorry. I just hear Vlad like trying to like reel him in. But I'm really excited, and I was like wanting to sorry. The squeaky toy. Wanted to get it done before we left for Ireland and like show the initiative that like this is something.
The squeaking is really getting to me.
It's so funny. This episode is something else. But yeah, so I signed up, and then what was really cool.
I was trying to lock in there. I was serious.
Anyway, I'm so sorry. So what was really cool is then like trying to figure it out financially, because so the cost to get in CrossFit, there's like 4 levels of coaching. Obviously level 4 is the highest, and you start with your level 1, right. And once you have your L1, like you can start coaching. But it costs to get your L1, it's $1,000. You know, and I mean, you're going to school, you're taking this course so you can be a coach, so you know it costs money. But what's cool is that they do offer a teacher discount, and I am, even if I'm not actively teaching, I am a Florida certified teacher, so that got me 20% off, so it knocked the price down to $800. And then what was really cool is that the gym helped like pay for me to get it as well, so and then I'll be able to like work back that money that they helped pay. But and then on top of it, at the end of the school year, I had so many days that I never took off, and I got to like cash those in, and so like that kind of ended up being the rest of what I had to pay for to get my certification.
Oh, really?
So it wasn't like taking out of my normal paycheck. So like the timing of it financially, it ended up working out all so perfectly.
Yeah.
And like knocking it out before we leave for Ireland. So I'm just like,
it all lined up.
It's just all been amazing from God. So I know that took a long time, but it's like the highest height of my life.
Yeah.
That's
perfect for you.
Coaching CrossFit, and I could not be more excited about it.
Could not imagine you like doing anything else. Like,
it's just what I love to do. You are the
CrossFit coach. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Best high tide.
Best high tide.
All right, now to go to the lows.
It's
always transitioning. We're like, oh yeah, that's great. All right, guys.
All right, this sucked.
Get depressing.
Mine is so like first world problems. I was like,
all
right, this is kind of embarrassing.
All mine are.
But like on the top, well, it's actually nothing got to do with CrossFit, but like health and fitness. So I was like, all right, I have to. This year, I was like, I'm gonna have to eat more protein because
Most women do.
Yeah, and me and Mia were talking about this yesterday. I don't really like meat.
Yeah, I'm not. I struggle with it.
I do like have it, but like the thought of it sometimes, like the texture,
it's like icky.
Yeah. Protein powder. So
I'm about to show you something when we're done with this podcast. I'm about to show you.
Is it like the lemonade one you put on? I have to,
It's so good. I'll make one for you.
Because I have vegan protein powder, but it tastes like grass.
Yeah. No, I'll make like you this protein.
Vanilla grass.
Vanilla grass. This protein shake, I'll make it for you after. It's literally the most refreshing, delicious thing you've ever had.
Yeah.
So worth it.
Real.
So I was like, all right, what can I do to like try and get me to eat more protein? And I love like TikTok. So I go on TikTok for everything that I need, and just there's this trend that like people are posting about, and it's like you get sourdough bread, and then you get cottage cheese. Have you seen this? And then the blueberries.
Yes.
Okay, so I was like, I've never tried cottage cheese in my life.
I haven't either.
And there's loads of protein in it. So I'm like, all right, that will do. I'm going to do this. So they were like, all you do, people were like, this is the most amazing food you're ever going to have in your life. You get your bread, you get the cottage cheese, the blueberries, and you put it
in the microwave. Is that like it's kind of...
It looks lumpy.
Like vomit.
Lumpy, yeah. Okay.
So,
just wanted to make sure I'm imagining
So I bought it, and then I opened it, and I was like, instant, like, tears on the inside. And then I'm like, all right, it's just food. Like, don't be a baby. So I put it, I'm literally crying, actually thinking about it. I put it on the bread and I put it in the air fryer, and it was the worst thing I've ever. And I was like crying into the bread. And then
the tears out of the saltiness. Oh
and
my
then,
gosh.
So I think I had like half of it, because apparently there's like loads of protein in one serving, so I think I had half, and then I was like, I can't do it. And every day, like when I opened the fridge, and I was just looking at it,
just staring at you,
and I'm like, all right, people will eat raw eggs.
Yeah.
I'm like, just do it.
Definitely, you shouldn't do that.
It was the worst thing. It was the worst food I ever had in my life. It was just
Maybe
like literally like dog vomit.
Maybe you just didn't prepare it right. I don't know. I say I'm not a cottage cheese fan, but the texture of it throws me off, so I don't.
I'm a big texture
I don't go to
what was making it worse was that it was hot.
Oh no.
I was like, that was just too far.
And that's what they were doing on TikTok.
And I think about it like every hour.
People like swearing by this.
Day, people are like, it's the best thing ever. Like all these influencers,
they're all liars.
They're all like sponsored by cottage cheese.
They're all sponsored. They're all getting
What's
paid
the
to say
brand?
that.
Is it Daisy? Is there Daisy cottage cheese?
No, I think it's sour cream.
That's sour cream.
But then there's these other TikTokers, like there's this thing that I found this week, and it's like this girl, her name's like Nina, I can't remember, but she's like a genius. I think she's autistic, and she'll find any product, like the most expensive product that is there, and then she reads the ingredients. So it's like her she calls it like her superpower.
Yes.
And then she'll find you like, so like pimple patches, she'll be like, all you need is Epsom salts and water, and it's the exact same. So she finds the cheap version of anything you need, and I love her page.
So cool.
That's amazing.
It was, you should look it up. It was like the coolest thing, because like she was like, that's how her brain works, is that she can like look at ingredients and break them down and tell you what they are.
That's a talent.
So I'm like, all right, I was loving her page, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to love this cottage cheese. No.
She disappointed.
It was devastating. It was actually so bad.
I'll put you on. I also have a protein, an Oreo pudding that is delicious.
Better than
that
cottage
has
cheese.
over 30 grams of protein in it. Like I'll get you on some good stuff.
Because I love those protein balls. Cheese. I don't know how much protein's in them, but like
not enough. But the protein
amazing.
pudding is really good. So I'll have to get you on, and I'll make you that protein shake. It's so good. I'll make us all protein shakes to go around.
Protein shake ATC after party. That's funny. All right, my low tide. Well, actually, my low tide, I'm combining it with yours.
No. So we definitely have our joint low tide. It was the lowest of low.
So, okay.
I was such a Debbie Downer.
No, we'll walk you through it, Ruth, and all of our listeners. So on Tuesday, we recorded an episode of the podcast.
It was supposed to be a podcast pickleball day. It was
the dream for me and Hannah, right? Podcast pickling.
And it ended so long.
Okay. So we are, podcasting, finished it up, living life, doing great. Life. And then we show up to the pickleball courts.
The first red flag was that we couldn't find a dang parking spot anywhere near the courts.
I had to park.
We had to park. I mean, it was deep. It was far.
In the dark, scary parts of the parking
lot.
Yeah,
it was like the unlit.
I felt like I was unsafe.
It is kind of sketchy over there.
Yeah, and once you have to like make the turn and that part, I'm like, I'm screwed. This night is, I don't know. So speaking of so then parking lot's really busy, which means the courts are
insane.
Really,
we were hoping it was all the basketball people, but it was not.
The basketball people must all walk there or something.
I swear they don't take up any of the cars.
No, honestly, because everyone is on those pickleball courts. And I was feeling good, honestly. Starting off.
You were, I wasn't.
I was feeling good. I was trying to.
Immediately, I was like, this is going to be awful.
That's so funny. I love hearing people's perspectives, like, after. Like, that was awful. But no, we showed up. I was like, okay, let's put our paddles in the system.
I tried to have some hope. I did.
Yeah,
because we've been there on busy nights and it ends up being okay.
Still good. So we put our paddles in the system. We played, like, one game, lose. Oh, well. And then we're like, okay, put them in the system again. But the system, how it works is, like, you put your paddle in there, and then, like, once you play, like, you move up the... I don't know if this makes sense.
Once people lose, you get off the court, and then the next two people go on, unless people decide to be really nice, and, like, all four people...
Which is very rare.
Yeah, it's not very
So, once you lose, you go back to put your paddles in the system to play again. But there's more paddles, more and more paddles.
There were more paddles
longer and longer. So
like, you were, like, putting your paddles in the fence, because the system rotation wasn't...
So you just stand there?
You just stand there and wait.
Yeah.
Ruth, when I tell you, we were there for, 2 hours?
Yeah.
And we played 3 games.
Yeah.
It
didn't help that, like, I feel like if you were really, really good and could just win a court, you'd have the best night of your life.
Oh, yeah, because you're just nonstop playing.
Yeah.
But then this is what we've talked about in another episode, where all of the good people take up all of the courts, so then they're never not playing. They're on there the whole time. They're staying warm. And then you, if you're not as good and you're just a normal average Joe pickleballer and you go out there, you're going to lose, because the last game I played was 45 minutes ago, so I'm not warm anymore.
Yeah.
And they've been doing nothing but playing and getting better as they go.
And they're already better. So.
And they're already better on top of it. So then, like, it's a monopoly. Like, all of those good people stay. And again, I totally respect getting to stay on the court if you win, but I feel like once you've won, like, 3 games in a row, I feel like you should be forced to rotate now, too. Yeah. So that more people can get on and play. But other than that, it's just the normal average Joe players constantly waiting 45 minutes in between a game, getting cold, just getting ready to lose to the winners that have been warm the whole time.
I felt like before, I mean, I was only there twice, but, like, it was empty.
No, it's
anytime I went
busy.
And, like...
No, when we first started going out, it was empty.
It was so empty.
Yeah, like, we literally were just...
And now that it's summer, all of the high school kids have taken over, which was what I got frustrated with. And it's not because they're high schoolers. It's because of, like, their demeanor. Like, number one, they don't participate in the rotation system. They just take a court and they don't rotate, which, like, technically you can do. You shouldn't, it's rude, but they don't care, right?
Yeah.
So they'll just take over court. There's like 17 million of them. Half of them
They're
aren't playing, but then like they yell, they scream, they like take their shirts off, like it's wild. And I'm literally like, I hate it so much. On top of the fact that they're not even rotating, so you it's taking away a court from the rotation system, so you're waiting for games even longer. Wow. Like there were some of them yesterday. They came in the wildest outfits I've ever seen, and then like. They were walking onto people's courts when they were playing. And they were like, hey, guys, like, can you, like, step off the court? Like, they just don't care. Like, they're just so in their own little world. And it just drives me nuts. On top of the fact that no one from our group came.
Oh, real. So it was just me and Hannah.
And Bryce.
And Bryce.
Aw.
Holding down the fort there.
Holding down the fort. So, like, we didn't even have, like, our group to, like, you know, have fun while you're waiting in between games.
Yeah.
It was just watching these freaking high schoolers set the world on fire in between.
The world on fire. Cause chaos.
And then just doing nothing but losing. And I was like looking at me. I was like, I'm not having a good time.
I was getting bit up. That was my main problem. So I was just sitting there. Honestly, I was watching games, whatever. But then bugs. Once a bug, I had 5 different species of bugs. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Every time I felt a bug on me, it looked completely different. I was like, all right, I'm out of here. I had bug spray on too. I was like, this is.
And I told me, I was like, I'm ready whenever you are, but I won't leave if you don't want to.
Yeah, we rode together. So she was like,
because I was like, Mia, I'm not sitting here another hour to play one more game.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a waste of time at that point. And then it's not even fun because it's not with our people. It's so overcrowded and so loud. And, like, it's just,
they need more courts.
They do need more courts.
Get rid of the tennis court.
Get rid of the tennis courts. I don't even play pickleball. I'm like, no one's at the tennis courts. Ever.
I feel like give them 2. Just take over one more tennis court.
Yeah.
And we could get 4 more pickleball courts. And I feel like it would just be so much better.
I'm about to do it myself.
Yeah.
Just start construction.
Chalk.
I get green paint. So I'm out there in the middle of the night rolling it.
I'm telling you, bro. It was just not, it was not great. So then Mia...
And then we were like, great idea. Let's make this night better. Let's go to Steak and Shake.
Because I was hungry.
And watch New Girl, our 2 favorite things. Well,
yes.
Steak and Shake is really our favorite thing. But food and New Girl. So then we go to Steak and Shake.
Oh my gosh. So we went in because I realized I didn't have my wallet. So I was like, okay, I needed to use Apple Pay, so I'm going to go inside. So we went inside, but, like, they make you order on, like, these kiosks, and they don't have the whole menu available on them. Like, for example, I like to go to Steak and Shake because they put grenadine, like, you can get grenadine in your, like, Diet Coke, so it makes it, like, cherry, and it's my favorite thing in the world, and there wasn't an option on there. And also, you could only order one size of a drink and, like, use the soda machine. Like, they didn't even have, like, their different sizes available on there. And I was like, okay, that's really lame. So then I did that, and then, like, you can't use the soda machine unless you scan a QR code that you get, right? So I did that, and then, like, you get a certain amount of refills, okay? So after I finished my one drink...
I didn't know you
that you only got a certain amount.
I thought if you have the soda machine out available to the public, I get unlimited refills. Yeah. Like, that's just how
that's
that
actually
works.
The best thing about America, because now by the time...
In
you
Europe,
already know that
you don't do that.
Yeah, we don't get refills.
Not free refills.
It's like probably like €3, like a drink.
Yeah.
So like if you're getting another,
and I'm a thirsty girl, so it's
yeah. So when I first moved here, and they would be like refilling, like if I got like a Coke or something, I would be like, why are they refilling?
Real.
I'm like, this is going to be so expensive.
Like, excuse me, I did not agree to pay for that.
So first of all, our food took a long time. And there was, like, no one there. And they had, like, 50 workers there. And I was like, what are you doing?
It was wild.
But then I went to go refill up my cup. So I drank my drink. And I wanted to get something different. And I tried this new concoction. And it was I don't know what I was thinking. I think I did, like, Dr. Pepper and Sprite. It's so nasty. Why would I do that? Anyway, so I took one sip. I took one sip and I was like, ew. Low tide, dumped it out, went to go get a refill, and then it locked on me, and I wasn't able to refill my drink, and I was like, so then the one of the workers is looking at me, she's like, yeah, like, you only have a certain amount of refills, like, you only get, like, one.
But it's because she, like, dumped it out, so she didn't technically drink
I didn't actually get my refill. I was like, no, this is my first refill, and it locked on me, and so then she took it to the back, and she filled it up with what I really wanted. But I was like, this is so dumb. Like, technology makes things worse sometimes.
It actually does.
Yeah. Just let the people... Thing. Come on. Steak and Shake, are you guys really going to suffer that much? Let me get one more refill.
An extra ounce of soda?
Thank you. Ugh. So annoying.
Anyway, that was our low tide.
Yeah,
that is low.
So now
I'm
we're
not
trying to
gonna lie.
figure out a new solution to pickleball because I'm telling you I'm not doing that again.
I think I should go out there and I should have a whistle.
Just Ruth. Get them in order.
Get out.
Get them in order. What are you doing?
No, they should have like a ref.
Pay
Pay
all
someone.
of them.
So there are these other courts that are nearby that are not nearly as busy. There's only 2 courts, but it's a very small park. Like, not a lot of people go there. The downside is that there's not lights at night.
So you can't play it.
So you can't play at nighttime. But we're thinking that we buy lights.
Buy lights, yeah.
And then we go out there, and no one else will be out there because they know that there's not lights.
Yeah.
And we could have 2
Don't
courts.
say the name of the park so no one
No,
will
I'm
know.
not. It's a
Keep it
secret.
a
I'm
secret.
gatekeeping this
You're
one.
gatekeeping it.
I'm gatekeeping it.
And
Yes. Ruth just guessed it. So that's what we're going to be doing.
Real.
And that's real.
Adapt, overcome.
I think so.
Adapt and overcome. Well,
All right.
wasn't that bad, I guess. Again, very first world
Very,
problems.
very first world issues.
But
Cottage cheese.
But it's
And
gonna.
that was pretty
Dr.
bad.
Pepper
I'm gonna be
Sprite.
thinking about that now. The cottage cheese. Imagine them together as a meal. The cottage cheese with your Dr. Pepper Sprite mixture.
That's
I'd
actually
be done.
an nasty-
I'd just be like, no,
I'd be done.
I'm done.
She's fuming.
I gotta leave.
Fuming over that cottage cheese.
That's so funny.
Anyway, let's get into our mana.
Let's do it.
Which I am so excited.
Yes.
So our mana, we figured for this segment that we would hear Ruth's testimony and how she came to the Lord.
Games
of the what?
To the Lord. Take it away.
So obviously, probably from the accent, and obviously people know me too. I was born in Ireland, and then we moved here 8 years ago. I think February will be 9 years, which is mad. It doesn't feel like that long.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I've known you for almost a
That's
decade.
crazy.
That's actually insane.
I grew up in a Christian family in Ireland, which is kind of rare because there's not like that many Christians over there. Like I think, like I wouldn't have been Christian at the time, but like the school that I went to, that I know of, I don't think that there was like one Christian there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I think it's like the statistics are the same now. So it's very like, if you come from a Christian family, it's very rare. Like culturally, people are very like confused by it because of the history. So like
Yes.
Catholics, Protestants, so they don't really understand. It's more of like, if you're a Catholic, like Irish people are usually Catholic, it's like you're
Isn't it more of a political statement?
yeah, political. So
Yes.
even though like I grew up like in the
There it goes again. I cannot.
Malo.
wait for the squeak.
Vlad is just going ham with the squeaky door. Oh my gosh, he's literally the worst.
But
Have to work through it, y'all. I'm
it's fine.
sorry.
Where was I? Oh yeah, so obviously it's more of like a political thing. He's like, I love Irish people.
He feels passionately.
So we always went to church and stuff when I was younger, but my parents, they would have been like first generation Christian. So the area that my mom grew up with, there was no Christians there, like,
Yeah.
you know. So when she got saved, it was, you know, very like radical at the time for people to say that they weren't part of the Catholic Church.
Right.
So, I mean, when I was younger, it was always normal. Like my parents were very involved in like the church that we went to and stuff. My dad used to like run like a soup kitchen kind of a thing.
Nice, yeah.
So I always kind of knew in a way that like we were different because we were Christian. But it was always like a positive, you know, rather than like a negative, because I always knew that it was real.
Yeah.
It was just that if you're the only person in your school that
It's
was from a
isolating.
Christian family,
Yeah.
people didn't really understand.
Yeah.
So I think until probably I was about 19 or 20, I think maybe the pressure or like the, you know, because there is like a cost to being a Christian. You can't just say it, and you know, I mean, obviously there is people who just say it, but that's more of they just kind of identify with it rather than it actually
It's not
impacting their life,
relational.
you know.
Yeah.
So I was always a kind of very all or nothing person. Like if I was a Christian, I wanted to be, you know, 100%. Even though obviously, you know, no one in our Christian life, we're always going to have, you know, bad days or whatever. So, I didn't give my life to Christ until I was about 20, 21. And then when I did, I think it was my first year in college. So there was just a few different things that happened that kind of got me to that place where I was like, there actually is no point in living if you don't have God. Like, there, I mean, if you think about it, there is no point.
Right.
Like, what is,
It's meaningless.
you know, and as well, I always had, I think we spoke about this before, I always had this, like a fear of God, like knowing that like one day I will stand before God. I always had that because I heard about it when I was younger. So I always knew that it was something that I had to do, like I had to make that step. But eventually I was just like, all right, I can't just think about it, I actually have to do it. So I started like applying, like studying the Bible, like actually wanting to live by what it says rather than, you know, just thinking, oh, that's what my family does, or that's what, and I wasn't really going to church or anything at the time. So then I started going to church, and the church that I went to over there, my mom, she went to that church. They at the time were starting up a Bible school. So a church from the church that we go to, Suncoast, they sent over a team. So Viet, he went to that Bible school, and then there was just a group of a lot of young adults ended up getting saved. So there was just a big group of us, like maybe 30 of us, and then they had this Bible school. So then the opportunity came to go to that, and that was really cool. That's where I met like Evie, you know, Pastor Simon's wife. That's so cool. Viet, different people from Suncoast, so a lot of people from like America and stuff moved there. So just through that school, really, it was very kind of like, when I think about it, I didn't realize it at the time, but it was a very like discipleship kind of program. So we would learn the Bible, we would do classes, but then we would be really involved with the church as well. Right. So
like apply it,
yeah. And then it was really cool. Like we started, me and like a girl that I lived with, we ended up doing this girls' Bible study just randomly. And then those kind of things really started, like began the desire that like of me wanting to like pursue ministry, not even pursue ministry, but just live for God. You know, you don't have to work at a church to like pursue ministry. And then after I finished with the Bible school, I got to work in like a women's rehab center. That's so cool. So that was amazing.
That's so awesome.
And then long story short, obviously Viet was at that school too. We ended up meeting, getting married, and then years later we ended up moving here, which is crazy to think about, because I used to always say that I was never going to move. And then if I was going to move, I always felt, so first I said I was never going to move country, but I'm like, all right, God, whatever you tell me to do, I'll do. Right. But I was still like, I'm not going to move. Like I was very comfortable where I was. But then I went on this mission trip to India, and I loved it. And then me and my friend, when we came back, we're like, we're moving to India.
Oh my gosh.
And then I was like, I'm doing it. I'm going to live there. Like, I loved it. And then we kind of came down off the mission trip high.
Real. That's so real.
And then I was like, all right, maybe we're not moving to India. Even though it would have been so cool. I would live there. Like, it was amazing. Like, I loved it. But then we were just helping in the church. Like, for years, we just helped wherever. Like, helped in youth. The main thing that we did was like the middle school ministry.
Nice, yeah.
And then eventually we got the opportunity to come here.
Yeah.
Which was really cool.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought that, like, even when we helped at the church in Ireland, it was, obviously we would have loved to have been involved, you know, to work at a church or to be involved more, but it was never like the actual goal.
Yeah.
Like, we were just doing it because that's what all of our friends did.
Right.
Like, same with what you're doing. Like, everyone was doing it and you just did it because you love to do it.
Right.
You know? So.
And now it's so cool because now we're in Ireland right now and we're going to be working out of the church that you grew up in.
It's crazy.
Insane. It's such a full circle moment.
Yeah.
Like, God is so good.
Even seeing those girls, like some of the girls that we did that Bible study with, they're there. And like they're married.
Oh my gosh.
Or girls that like were in youth when we helped in youth.
Right.
Like,
it's so cool.
So like the two worlds like meeting
Collide.
each other.
It's like
that's
a
gonna
crossover
be
episode.
Yeah,
literally.
So cool.
That's so awesome.
Oh, I'm so excited to meet everyone. So when's the last time you've been to the church?
Years ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I think last time, I think it was probably 8 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So like right before you moved here.
Yeah, because they were closed for. There was about 3 years that I didn't get to go back because of COVID, because everything closed.
Yeah.
So it must be 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah. crazy.
What is that like nerve-wracking or is it like all exciting?
Well, I'm excited because loads of my friends are still there. So like seeing my friends that I haven't seen in years.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, you just never know. Like some of them live all over the country.
Right.
But just because we all live together.
No, that was such a big part of your life. Yeah.
And then
That's
like
so cool.
we were like 19, 20, well no, maybe 20, 21. That living that like house experience was like the best and craziest experience of my life.
From the stories I've heard, I don't even know.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But like as in fun too. And like you never, like we all just went into it like wanting to know God more, wanting to help like people. The church, help people in whatever way we could. And then you see like all these people all over the country or different people all over the world, like people who live here in America, people who live just like all over Europe. Like it's, you just, you know, we get so used to like, we just think, oh, we're just helping our church or we're just, but you just never know where God's going to take people.
Right.
Yeah,
So, and then when you haven't seen each other in so long, it's like you feel like you saw them yesterday.
That's the best. Those are the best friendships where you can like get together after like years and
away.
it's like nothing.
It's like nothing changes. But seeing like how innocent we were at the time,
right?
And now like people, like you know, we have friends, even in Jacksonville who they grew up with us, and then they're like pastors up there.
Wow.
And it's just, you just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Cool. Do you feel like you have like Ireland Ruth and America Ruth, like Viet, like because Viet, his whole personality changes. Cheers to everything. Cheers. Once he gets to Ireland, do you feel like, I want you to come back with the strongest Irish accent ever. I love it.
Does it like turn up when you're actually
it does turn, because
Ooh.
here I get so used to saying the words.
Yeah.
So like, because I work at a preschool, so at the preschool I have to say the words for the kids.
Right.
So the longer I'm here, the more that I'm like, I get so used to it that I just say the words, and then when I go back, something in my brain switches, and I'm
it's
like,
just like,
oh, I can say rubbish.
It's like
the bin.
Breath of fresh air. That's so funny.
And then obviously being around everyone who has Irish accents, it's, you know,
it's gonna just
But I'm just curious to see what you think of it.
I'm so excited.
Because like, I know you're gonna love it, but like, it's just crazy. Like the two, you know, even though I feel like our youth and obviously anyone who's going with us, they're really similar to the Irish people.
Yeah, we have a really good group.
Remember when we went to Dublin? It was like, we were
connected.
So similar.
Yes, the sarcasm, the dry humor.
You'll know that from Viet.
Yes,
Viet is an Irish man in an Asian American man's body. Like the humor, sometimes like
the banter,
like, and sometimes I'm like, Viet, and he's like, well, I learned that in Ireland.
He
was like, I learned it there.
So
they taught me.
It's so true.
But it is because they mess with each other.
Yeah,
that's what you do. If you're comfortable with someone, you mess with them.
Yeah,
right.
So that's Viet to a T.
Well, that's what I was saying like before. Why it takes longer to be a part of his fan club, because like you might not know, like you can't take anything he says seriously.
Nothing, and people don't understand.
They don't get that.
Yeah.
So then it could like totally rub you the wrong way. But like you cannot be an easily offended person.
Yeah. So Viet, this is what I learned with Viet.
This is what I've learned.
We're talking about Viet again in this episode.
You better listen to this one.
Yeah, you better, Viet. So he thinks he's everyone's best friend.
He's got that complex.
So he literally is everyone's best friend. So he thinks he can mess with everyone like they're his best friend.
Oh right, like he has to get to a level.
You know what I mean? So like,
I can see that.
he'll be like, "Oh, we're best friends," like, you know. So like, they'll mess with each other. But that really is how Irish people are.
No, it is. And I
so,
remember when we
like
went
I'm like, if someone starts making fun of me, I take that as like
a compliment.
That's flattering. I'm like, oh my gosh, you feel that comfortable with me to like make fun of me? Thank you. Like I love it.
Like over there, even when we were at the Bible school, especially the boys.
Oh yeah.
The boys would be like killing each other, and then they're best friends.
You're like, y'all.
I'm like, girls would be like, I'm never talking to you again.
I hate you. No, that's why like they were making fun of the way that we talk, right? Like when we went over there, which is just like, oh, I'm so excited because our groups are so similar with the sarcasm and everything, and like no one gets offended. We all just have a really good time.
That is true.
Because we were in an argument about how you say the word Nike, because they say Nike. And I had never heard that before, and I was like, okay, but I'm pretty sure the brand itself calls them Nike.
I have a worse one. Say this one. Puma.
Puma.
So we call it, I don't even like saying it because it sounds worse. We call it Puma. So when I moved here and someone said Puma, I was like, what?
Puma.
Just adding some spice to the
That's even worse.
But they were like, why do you pronounce it Nike? And I was like, that's the brand name. And they were like, do you guys ride around on your bikies? They were like, it's Nike. And I was like, you got me there.
You got me there.
But I'm pretty sure that any kind of like phonetic rule doesn't apply to names. Like names can be, they're all sorts of weird.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the brand calls itself Nike.
And as well, I feel like me as an Irish person, I feel like if the American brand says its name, it's probably its name. You know?
That's so, no, don't you guys...
Or like this tiny country. No, it's actually like...
Actually.
Do you pronounce Adidas differently?
Is that the...
So some people call it Adidas.
Okay,
Adidas.
because that's how Vlad, like in Russian, they call it Adidas as well. Adidas.
There's another... It will come back to me, but it's like a hair product that we call something else.
Something different?
I can't remember the
L'Oreal.
name. Not L'Oreal.
Is it a brand or?
Yeah, it's like a really popular
Garnier. Fructis.
Garnier.
Not that
Garnier.
Garnier.
I
don't know.
It'll come back to me.
I'm just gonna make a list while I'm there. I'm gonna come back and like rub it in everyone's faces.
My
Like
favorite...
I love doing that. Like when we came back from Barcelona, I said like the 2 Spanish words I knew, and I was like, guys, yeah, literally. Like I'm so cultured, guys. You have no idea. I'm doing the same thing.
No, my favorite thing about speaking like in Ireland cultural changes is the time. I love saying, and I love going to my family, and it's like such like a pick me thing to do.
No,
but I'm like,
same.
I'm like,
That's
oh, it's 1:30.
Yeah.
And they're like,
All
what are you talking about? I'm like, oh. You don't know. It's 1:30.
You're going to get used to saying that over there because everyone's going to say it. Or we say instead of saying like the July, like you would say July 9th, we would say the 9th of July.
The 9th of July.
So when we first moved here,
yeah.
I think Wally and Carmenia, we were filling out something
it,
about receipts, and then I put like the wrong day, but I think they had done the same thing too because they moved here or something.
Yeah, which I know like a lot of places in Europe, which it honestly makes more sense to do day, month, year, small, bigger, biggest, and for whatever reason we do
America just likes to be quirky.
Month, day, year. Like honestly, the way
I feel
we
that way
do
with
it,
the times there too, because isn't it technically like military time or it's like 24 hours? Like I feel like that kind of makes more sense too.
Well, I have military time on my phone. I've been telling military time since I was in high school.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just did, and then I ended up briefly dating someone that was in the military, so then it kind of worked out. But I've always had my phone on military time.
Yeah.
Or we'd say like 3:15 instead of 3:15 or 3:45.
Yeah.
3
for 3:45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brain
Which I feel like older people here, like they do quarter. I was teaching my students 4:15 and 4:15.
Yeah.
Which that's hard to teach little kids. That's like
when I think about it, actually is. It's just when you're used to it.
I feel like it gets confusing too because like if it's a money, a quarter's 25.
Yes,
and
but
then
in
time
time
is 15.
That's true.
Yeah, you have to teach them the difference.
Yeah.
It's tough, but so many good things.
So many good things. No, I'm so stoked.
What do you feel like are the biggest culture shocks from here to Ireland when you moved here? And then like when you go back, like what are the things that you have to adjust to the most?
So when we first moved here, in my mind it was like nearly felt like a mission trip. You know what I mean? Like when you go on a mission trip, you kind of like you're just in this like mission trip mindset.
So you're not like trying to adapt to the
So obviously like the words, the weather was the biggest shocker for me.
Especially being in Florida. That was crazy too, because when we went to Ireland the first time, I think it was like 70 degrees. Sun was out, there was a breeze. It was like a cool spring morning. It was beautiful. And they were like sweating buckets, Irish people. And they were like, it's humid. Yeah. It's so humid. And I was like, I'm a little chilly. Yeah. Like this is, so it's drastically different.
And just, like the weather is crazy. And then I feel like just like day-to-day stuff, Irish people would be very like, I noticed everything here had a time, a start time and an end time. So things here were very like
scheduled,
like orderly scheduled.
Yeah.
Over there, if like even something like with church, if it starts at 11, it ends.
Who knows?
Oh, interesting.
You know, so here it was more like it was, but I feel like here people work longer hours.
Okay.
So like people here are busier than over there.
Like I need to know the time is going to end. Like,
because you have other stuff
if I'm looking
planned.
at I'll be like, okay, this could either be hours longer or 5 minutes longer.
But over there, there's not like as obviously people do work loads of hours, but like the just culture is a little bit different. So like
more laid back.
Yeah. So like when we had even like youth on Friday. We had youth on Friday, not Wednesday. But a lot of times people would go out after, which we do sometimes here too.
Yeah.
So sometimes we try and bring some of that culture where like you're not just meeting up for the service. You're doing other stuff too.
Right. Yeah, I love that.
I'm trying to think what else. Obviously the sarcasm. But I feel like people here are very sarcastic too.
I think it just depends on the person.
You just
And
gotta find the
St.
right
Pete,
people.
I feel like I'm just glad we moved to St. Pete because I love St. Pete. The people are so nice. Like,
Where else in America have you gone?
I went
You
to
said Jacksonville. You have friends there.
Jacksonville, Colorado. Our friends live there too.
Oh, nice.
And New York. I think that's it. And then I went to Alabama for the mission trip.
Okay.
And Miami.
In Miami.
Got it.
Okay.
I was just wondering, like, if you knew, like, the difference, which that is.
Yeah, I mean, New York kind of reminded me of Ireland.
What was your first Thanksgiving here like? Because you never had that growing up.
Oh, Thanksgiving.
Like any or 4th of July, like was the like
Memorial Day, land of the free.
We moved here in February, but then I moved back. Okay, so Thanksgiving would have been my first because I had to wait for my visa. My first, I love something that Americans do 100 times better. No offense to my people, is like the flavors. Like the pumpkin pie and stuff. I never had that in my life. I don't think I ever had it anyway. And I was like, this is the best thing I ever had in my life. Because I love desserts.
Yeah, same.
Cottage cheese and like other stuff like meat. No. Dessert?
No.
Yes.
Sugar, bring it on.
Sugar.
We do obesity and unhealthy real well
and I love
here.
it.
Love it.
Did you feel that? That's another big thing because
So
Europe is I feel like Europe is so healthy from at least an American mindset.
Yeah.
Did you feel when you came here that you, like that typical American, like, oh, they're all fat pigs in America?
The serving sizes are like triple the size.
I thought the serving
Unlimited
sizes were going to
soda.
be, like, the unlimited soda thing, that was amazing.
Wild. Yeah.
But I love it.
Good thing.
Yeah.
Like, but I feel like St. Pete is very healthy.
St. Pete is.
So I mean, sometimes like
we
my
have a
friend,
lot of like the kale smoothie
like
juice
even
places.
when people like come visit us here, they're like, all of our friends love St. Pete
because it's the best.
It's I mean, obviously you can be unhealthy anywhere you go, but I feel like the culture here, because it's hot, everyone's outside, like pickleball, the gym, like it's very...
St. Pete is, I feel like, fairly active. Like, there's so many people that, like, run downtown or they play pickleball or,
I did go
kayaking.
to, we did go to a buffet once. The fine arts people will remember. We all got like food poisoning after it. But that was the craziest buffet I ever experienced in my life.
Buffets are crazy.
I can't remember the name, but it's like a really popular one.
Golden Corral.
Yeah.
Golden Corral.
Golden Corral, you will get sick.
They were dipping shrimp into the chocolate fountain.
No, I remember.
So American.
No, I remember the same thing happened. We went to Golden Corral once.
bad.
My sister came back to our table with like, it was like every food possible. It was all drenched in chocolate, and I had to leave the table. I was getting nauseous, like just looking at her plate.
Disgusting.
Oh my gosh, that place is.
But it was
wild.
an experience. Like I feel like if you go to America, you have to go to those places.
You have to.
Cracker Barrel,
Cracker Barrels.
Just
is
struggle a
so-
little bit.
anything like
If there was something like cultural wise that you could bring from Ireland that you would want implemented in America, what would it be? And then vice versa. What is an American thing that you love that you wish was the free refills?
free refills. My dad, shout out Morris Lynch. He's never, he doesn't know how to, but he was like, we brought him to a restaurant here and someone was refilled his Diet Coke and he was like, she fancies me. He thought like the waitress likes him. I was like, no, they're free.
They're free.
She was like, I think she fancies me.
I love that word. We don't use that.
You have to come back using that.
He fancies me.
He fancies.
There is more of them here, but like we have a lot of cafes over there. So like cafe culture is very.
Is that with like?
And
like
I do miss that.
so?
Yeah. And like if you're going with like like on the weekend you meet up with all your friends and you go to like a cafe. And that's just what you do. And there's no like schedule. You're not like doing an activity. You just talk.
Yeah.
So that's when I
You
go
don't have
back.
to
I
go
always
up.
just miss talking.
I also love
people.
like the prices. Like that was how it was in Barcelona too. Every block there was a cafe with amazing Spanish coffee and like croissants.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that
Chocolate
expensive.
Yeah.
Like I do feel like there is some of it in like Miami, like where you have like your little hole in the wall places that sell like cafe con leche and that kind of stuff. And that's what I love, like just espresso milk and some sugar. It's just the best. And I feel like we have so many coffee shops here, at least in St. Pete, but they're all very like expensive, pricey. It's not like when you're walking downtown every other block there's like a cafe with like fresh bread. We just don't have bread.
There is
here
like
the
a
way
few
that they
places,
do.
but they don't always have like a lot of pastries. They're like just, but our new favorite place is Bandit.
Yeah,
I love because they have like some like they even just do like you can get like bread, you can get like.
Where's that one again?
It's like on Central somewhere. I'm so bad with directions.
Okay.
But they have like a lot of like what reminds me of like Irish pastries.
Okay, that's really
And
cool.
then if I could bring something over there, I love that there's drive-through stuff here.
Especially with
like not really. So like there's no drive-through Starbucks over there. Maybe there is by now, but I don't. Last time I went. So like me and Viet before when we were like helping, we would just obviously volunteer at the church, and then we both worked at coffee shops. It was the same chain, kind of like the European Starbucks is called Costa, but there's no drive-through. Wow. And I love drive-through, especially with so like nice. With kids, and you don't have to get out of the car.
Yeah,
they have like drive-through McDonald's, but like a drive-through ATM. I was like, that was life-changing.
No, honestly,
anytime
pharmacy. I don't have to get out of my car.
A pharmacy's a big one. Yeah, I don't even think about it.
We need
it's
it.
Just so normal here.
Yeah, so there's no like KFC and McDonald's.
Is that?
I think that's the only drive-through.
Wow.
That we have.
That's crazy.
Were there any new chains like when you came over here that like you discovered that you loved that aren't in Ireland? Like Panera. I'm trying to.
I actually do love Panera.
I was gonna say
Panera is really good.
I love Panera. It's not like a chain, but I love St. Pete Bagel.
I love St. Pete Bagel.
Bagels in general.
Yeah, just bagels.
Bagels are so good.
I'm not really like a donut person, but if I have people come over, then definitely Krispy Kreme. Their donuts are.
So
oh my gosh, you live pretty close to Krispy Kreme,
Yeah.
right? That'd be so dangerous for me. Like if I see that hot thing, like the
Or
hot sign, I would have to
Chipotle.
stop by every time.
Yeah, we need Chipotle over there. I still haven't had Taco Bell.
Taco Bell's good.
I've never had it.
1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
when there's nothing else open.
But I do love Chipotle.
Chipotle slaps. I just had Chipotle yesterday.
Yeah,
it was good.
I feel like Chipotle's getting expensive though. I was trying to think. I usually go to that, like want to go there,
like
but
$10.
Yeah,
I don't feel like it's. I mean, I feel like everything is so expensive
I feel like
nowadays.
mine's like 15. I don't know what I'm getting because I'm pretty bland. I don't know what I'm getting, but mine's pricey.
You know what we need here in America? I mean, I know there's technically like 2, but we need pennies.
I know.
Listen. I need the
your
listeners
suitcase
to
is going to be full
understand.
right now. You're going to be like flying.
When I come back from Ireland, my high tide is going
suitcase.
to be my suitcase filled with things from Pennies.
Yeah.
If you don't know what Primark is, Primark goes by the name of Pennies. It is actually the best store in the entire world. And I made the comparison when I went there the first time. It is the IKEA of clothes.
That's actually so true.
It's the best way to describe it. It's absolutely ginormous, like floors and floors and floors of stuff, like to the point where it's a little overwhelming, similar to IKEA. Like there's so much to look at,
right?
But everything is like very affordable, but it's so cute and like fashionable and trendy, just like IKEA. Like it's all very cute. Is it high quality? No. But you don't care.
We're not paying for that.
You're not paying for the quality.
Yeah.
You're paying to look trendy on a budget.
Yeah.
But they have more than clothes though. Like IKEA has like everything, and then they happen to have like a cafe. Like Primark, there's like these suitcases and beauty and like gym clothes and shoes. Like I bought so much, and literally like I'm gonna make sure that there's room in my suitcase because I know I'm gonna have a shopping spree at Pennies.
That's real.
And I want one here so bad. It's like a better version of Forever 21 times 10.
And like
it's
even
so
like
good.
So when we were younger, there's a thing where you go to Pennies to get new pajamas. So like if it's like Christmas or whatever, you get the fluffy ones and you get the fluffy socks, and it's just an experience.
And like when we went over there,
€6, something like it's cheap.
It's so cheap, and you go over there and like everyone, like you ask them what they're wearing, Pennies.
Yeah, you have to say it.
You have to say
if someone gives you a compliment, because Irish people don't like compliments. So if you give an Irish person a compliment, they have to give you like an underhanded, like not all Irish people, but like. The culture is like you're never supposed to talk yourself up. Yeah, it's part of the culture. Like if people would think that you're like being
conceited.
Yeah, if you talk about yourself, it's so if someone says like I like your outfit, you have to be like thanks Pennies.
Yeah.
So it just shows that like,
reason.
this was only €5.
Yeah, like I'm humble about it. Yeah.
I love that so much. I can't wait. Ireland is going to be the best.
And then literally counting down the days. How many days do we have? It's coming up soon, the 7th. So it's
what, like 8 days?
8 days.
I feel like mission trips are like, they are life changing.
They are.
That's what I'm
100%.
excited about, because I think we're taking like 17. I think there's 17 of us, maybe 19 including Zion and Ezra. But like I know
We have a
too
big
for
group.
and even for the ones that it's their first time going.
Yeah.
Like my
For
first
the
mission
people that
trips
are
was
first,
like life changing.
on a plane. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That this is gonna
Well,
be
because
such an experience.
Ireland was my first overseas mission trip, and
Yeah.
it will always have like that special place in
Yeah,
my heart.
right.
And I'm so excited now that Vlad is going to experience,
he's gonna
because
love
we
it.
talked about how like Vlad is definitely like kind of like Via, like an Irish person on the inside.
Yeah.
Like he's just got the same
He does 100%
mentality, like the same kind of personality, and I think he's going to love it. And like he's excited, but like for him, like his Ireland was like Barcelona,
Yeah.
and that was his first overseas mission trip, so that has a special place in his heart. But I'm like, can't wait till Ireland.
Yeah.
Can't wait to Ireland.
To go to a chippa.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited.
I was gonna say, you're leaving this
I'm
Saturday.
leaving
though.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh,
so she's
I'm
gonna
so
be
jealous.
I'm gonna go to
shopping
Penny's
it up.
first.
Yeah, she's gonna be shopping it up the week before we get there.
Listen, don't get too much without me.
so
I
excited.
need
I look on their Instagram all the time. I have to send you some
I need
stuff.
to follow them on Instagram.
Because then I know what I want.
That's so
You know?
smart.
You can just go in there, have
I
like
just
a
know.
map, like a
Like you can
checklist.
get 5 pairs of hoops for $150. That's like
That's robbery.
5 pairs of earrings for $150.
That's
Wow.
actually
Makeup.
insane.
I used to work with this girl. Her makeup was beautiful, and every day I'd be like, "Where'd you get?" Like I would ask her. She'd be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, pennies."
That's
And
wild.
like they have night like unreal.
Like you
stuff.
get like a
Home
nice
decor.
pair of shoes for like €10.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
so good. I got those jeans, the same jeans
Yeah.
that you had. Such good jeans. I think they were like what, like 12?
Yeah,
12-year-old.
and I think the quality is really good.
Those jeans were
Yeah.
really nice quality. They don't fit me anymore, but I had bought a lot of gym clothes that I
Yeah.
had from Penny's for a while, and it was like €3-4 for like each piece.
Yeah.
It was so cheap.
Yeah.
Jasmine bought a suitcase.
Oh, Jasmine.
where she was dragging around a suitcase.
Jasmine is an Irish person too.
She is.
She is.
She has that
She
humor.
does.
It's
I love
so
it.
Funny.
I love Jasmine.
But even like, I mean, obviously by the time like it's going to be over, but like, just thinking about, because we're going to be doing street evangelism.
to Irish people.
And I know, like, I already know that because we did it at the pier.
Yeah.
I know that everyone's gonna love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is like a hard thing to do.
It is.
So like this mission trip is gonna be very different to like.
No, for sure.
You know,
like,
but
I
in
feel
a
like
good
everyone's
way.
gonna grow. In some
They're gonna
way.
love it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. This is making me so excited, and then I can't
It builds
wait.
up the anticipation.
I can't
I'm
wait to like
stoked.
talk about what we've learned and what happened
Yeah.
when we come back.
Have a little debrief session.
Can't wait.
The best.
So excited.
Thank you so much for
Aw.
coming and being on
for
here with
having
us.
me.
Yay!
It's gonna be my claim to fame. I'm gonna be like, I was the first guest.
I was the first
Thanks,
guest on
pennies. Can't sound too conceited.
Yeah,
I
so-
was.
I was.
We need
you
to
know,
get her a sweatshirt that says ATC
first guest. Literally. Well,
I
I
love
feel
it.
like all of our listeners are gonna be like, we need her on every episode.
Oh, they're
It's
gonna,
be
they're probably gonna fall in love with you, and you're gonna have, you'll
we're gonna
be
have
back.
riots. Oh,
You'll
for
be
sure.
back.
Part 2. This will be Ruth part
Definitely.
1.
Ruth
Part
part
one,
one.
cottage
Speaking into
cheese.
existence.
Cottage cheese.
Part 2.
Question mark.
Protein smoothie. Question mark.
To be continued.
Did she like it?
I'm telling you, I'm gonna make it for you right now.
That's gonna either be
I'm gonna
our
love it.
high and low tide for next.
I'm
or
crying. I'm
whatever.
crying into this smoothie.
Oh my
Crying
gosh.
over hot cottage cheese.
No, that's so
No,
real.
it was the blueberries too. Actually, the
Really?
blueberries.
Oh, but
the
were they
blueberries,
warm
like
too? The
they were
blueberries?
warm,
Oh yeah, no. I don't know how you did that.
and
Ruth.
it was like the crunch of the. Sorry to keep bringing it up. The crunch of the sourdough bread with the hot cottage cheese.
the warm mushy blueberries.
And I was like, I'm gonna be a healthy queen. It's about to be summer, and I was just crying. I was like, no, I'm just gonna eat a Quest bar.
I'm gonna be a healthy queen.
Because I see people being so healthy, and I'm like,
She's in an air fryer.
the air fryer.
That's so crazy.
Dang. Well, we're about to be healthy queens with the protein shake that Anna's gonna make us, hopefully.
I'll change your life. In a good way.
You never,
not
have to, you never have to go through that again. We're here to support you through these tough times.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
All right, guys.
All right. Well, our next episode will be
Our debrief from Ireland.
yeah. So stay tuned.
Stay
guys.
tuned.
Can't
Because
wait.
we've been talking about Ireland so much. I know you're just dying to hear how
I
it
know.
went.
Dying.
They're like sick of it, but oh well.
This is our podcast.
I'll probably still be mentioning Ireland. This is our podcast, so who cares? No, but I'll probably still be mentioning Ireland. Like
Oh, it's gonna be all year round.
we're gonna have a new Ireland
remember
segment.
that
We
thing
just
in
tell our
Ireland?
story.
it's gonna be called
Remember
Cheers.
Ireland? Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to
I'm down.
Ireland.
I love.
That's gonna be the episode title.
I'm also
Cheers to Ireland.
Cheers to Ireland. I love. No, but I'm also one of those people. Like, if there's something funny that happens, like I run it into the ground. Like I'm gonna mention the story like every single episode.
1,000 billion times.
Something to look forward to.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful
right,
Monday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.